Welcome back to BeerFormers.
Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for continuing to watch our videos. We really appreciate all the support, and we're still having fun doing this. So as long as we're having fun, we're gonna keep making them. So
That's right. I'm gonna keep drinking beer. So
yeah, or other spirits.
Yeah.
This is gonna tie into tonight, as you're gonna see here in a second. So this is our 11th episode. So very exciting. We're 10 in. We're going into the second.
our second decade.
Yeah, except
of
for it's not years, but
Transformers.
second 10. You know.
That was a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. All right. So tonight, let's get right to it. So we're going to talk about something else we've been teasing for a while. Last episode, we talked about Action Masters, Transformers that don't transform.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you back up a year, Action Masters came out in 1990, and remember that was effectively the end of Transformers.
As we know it.
As we know it. In the year 1990.
Okay.
So in the year 1988 and 1989 and 1990, the 2 years in a row, Hasbro introduced something called the Micromasters. So we're going to go ahead and bust one out here real quick.
Were they inspired by Micro Machines?
They were absolutely inspired by Micro Machines.
Okay.
Baloo put out the Micro Machines. They were a huge hit. Hasbro felt like threatened, and so we're going to make Micro Transformers.
And didn't they have the guy do those commercials who also did? He talked really fast.
Yeah, his name's John Machida.
And he was also a voice.
He was the voice of Blur in the animated movie.
Yeah, that's a lot
he was
of
the voice of Micro
cross-pollination going on there.
So Micromasters, they were just big. They were big into the whole master thing. Do with that what you will.
Yeah.
They're headmasters, target masters, action masters, micromasters, master force. But micromasters were, as the name implies, they were essentially little tiny, about maybe 1.5 inch to 1.5 inches tall transformers that turned into little tiny vehicles akin to micro machines. All right. So these were typically sold in groups. You buy like a pack of 4, a pack of 6,
that makes sense.
whatever like that. But they had a few special play sets to go along with them, so you could have like tracks and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we're talking about tonight.
That would be
so
perfect.
Tonight we're talking about this little guy here. His name is Countdown. He's an Autobot. He turns into a moon buggy.
Ooh, so I like it.
We'll let you try that here in a second too. But he came with an equally appropriate base. He was basically the Micromaster leader of the Autobots, and he came with this huge base that
was on the moon.
Well, it could be because it was basically a big city. So here we're gonna bust it out here so you guys can all see it.
Oh, does that transform too?
Yes, it do.
Ooh.
And it's not even put together yet because I had to keep it in different parts on the floor so I could have room for it. So we're gonna go ahead and assemble it here real fast as I can.
Need some more room there, babe?
No, I think you're good. It looks like
Okay.
it's all on the camera here.
Okay.
And this is it. So this was Countdown's rocket base. Okay. So this was the largest playset they made for the Micromasters. As you can see, it's got lots of ramps.
Yeah.
You can tell this is obviously a rocket here. I'll spin it this way a little bit so you kind of get different angles on it and stuff, Can
he fit in there?
Yeah.
Can you go inside that rocket?
You want to try to transform Countdown real quick? He's super simple.
Okay.
Basically just fold the legs and he's basically there. So the Micromasters all had these little playsets with little the ramps and tracks and stuff on them.
Boom.
Boom.
Wait a second. Somehow I didn't get his hand.
The arms kind of go up, like type of thing, like DJ Khaled.
Is it supposed to be down like that and then the legs go over the arms?
No. The arms just point up.
They point straight up,
They point straight up.
Like we're number one.
Yeah.
That's it?
Straight up.
Oh, up.
Up and down.
Out like Superman.
I'll put a picture of the screen because these are so small it's not going to show.
Yeah, that was basically I just flipped his arms around.
Yeah,
or
so they all had super simple transformations.
Yeah, that was super simple.
To go along with being super small. The smaller they are, you can't make them too complicated.
Still probably took me way too long.
But you can see they can roll down these ramps.
That's cool. I really want to do this. Can I see us for a second? This looks fun. I really want to do that. Whee.
So lots of bases were made of various sizes and complexities.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Yes. Oh, man, he's got...
This was the biggest. Okay, so this is the rocket. This is called the rocket base.
Wheels.
And what's cool about these little ramps is that they have the connection points on each end. So if I had another Micromaster, and there's lots of places you can put these ramps. I can put it there. I can put it here. I could connect all the bases together.
Is crazy.
And make like a Micromaster city, which is kind of fun.
Do you have all of them?
I have all the Micromaster bases.
Did you ever put all the bases together?
I collected all these when I was an adult, so I don't recall. I probably did at least once.
We need to do that.
We could do that at one point, yeah.
And
it's modular, so you can connect it in all sorts of different ways, And the Decepticons had them too, but Decepticons did not have a base as big as this. Their next biggest base was like a space shuttle thing that would unfold to show different stuff, whatever. So, Micromasters were cool for that. And like I said, you usually buy them in packs of 4. The following year, 1990, they had the Micromaster combiners, which means they were two little things like this, where one would be the back half of a vehicle, one would be the front half, and you combine them together so that they didn't form a whole vehicle to themselves. But they were modular. So I could take like the front end of a space shuttle, the back end of a tanker truck, and make a new vehicle like that.
Oh,
too. So
that is fun.
We'll show those one day too.
Yeah.
So those are Micromaster combiners. So the first year were just basic Micromasters. The second year were Micromaster combiners, but they all had, the little bases. You can either buy just packs of just robots themselves, or you can buy, play sets, basically like that. So we're gonna try to get you to transform this one here now, all right? So I'm gonna walk you through this one, sort of like we do with the Mega Supreme, just because you don't really know what this looks like because it's a fantasy thing that's made up here, right? So first thing we need to do is go ahead and just like kind of take everything apart again. We'll take all these ramps off.
And it's turning into a robot?
It's turning into a rocket launch, like a gantry, like a mobile gantry for like launching a Saturn V rocket or something like that, yeah. So let's take all the parts off, and then I'm going to walk you through it. You see if you can figure it out. Some of these parts go back on again later.
How many years did they do these Micromasters?
In the United States, 2. 89 and 90. Okay? In Japan, they lasted a little bit longer. They put them out for another year or so. In Japan, they kind of went all in with it. They had several toy lines again that we never had in America. There was Victory. Was the one that came after Master Force. We're getting really into the weeds here a little bit. But in Victory, like everything, but even if it was a big robot, still had some sort of Micromaster compatibility.
Yeah.
All right. And then the following year, they had what was called Zone, and after that, it was the one that the Return of Convoy, where they brought back Optimus Prime in Japan, because Japan had a slightly different continuity to this. Therefore, they had their own headcanon. But they really leaned into it for about 3 or 4 years there in Japan. Everything had some sort of Micromaster compatibility. We're going to talk about that here a little bit here. Okay. I got a surprise. We're done with this one here. All right. So first off, let's see if you can transform the rocket real quick.
Okay. Well, I'm going to guess that these hatches go down.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to guess this goes inside.
You're nailing it.
Boom! Oh, except that now it won't shut. Oh, I got it. Okay. I got it. So I push that door in. That's any more?
Well,
wait a second.
Does that look like a flyable rocket at the moment? No. Okay.
But let's. Oh wow!
A little tight. If you feel at all nervous, I can step in.
Okay. Also, I just
because I don't have a new version of this that Noelle can transform.
I think I got it.
And she gets nervous about it.
Look at that.
So this is the rocket. So in the cartoon, sort of like a Mega Supreme, they would pile into this and fly somewhere else.
Sure.
And then when it got there, oh look, the whole base is here again somehow, that kind of thing. So this is the rocket. So we'll set that aside for now.
Transformers physics.
This becomes the gantry here. So the part I will help you out with is these front parts here kind of been in, and they are so tight.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah, I sure did.
So I'll do that part for you.
Sounds like my neck.
Because it's probably gonna break.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't break it live.
If it breaks, it's my fault, not yours. Okay, that's the worst part there.
Okay. Worst part's over.
So I'll hold this up a little bit. There's like areas down here with little computer banks with little pegs,
Look how good
so the Micromasters could all play with stuff.
It's really good shape.
So what do you think you got to do now?
Well, I'm gonna guess that something has to bend in.
Yeah, fold that down.
Fold this down.
Just kind of bend it down.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me look here.
A little tight.
Yeah, but there's a little hinge here.
Yeah.
So do that. Okay, then this has got to push in. I see hinges here.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay, now what? Oh, these are wheels here.
Yeah, so now you can see there's treads on it.
Yeah.
So again, imagine like basically a big thing that would move like the moon rockets out back in the 60s.
So it would go up.
And that folds up, yep.
It's got to fold up,
yep.
But it's, there we go. Got it!
Okay. So that's basic. So you can see it's got things you can raise and lower, Micromasters, like to get on it. The rocket has the ability to, there's like little spots here, so the rocket has the ability to kind of like peg into that a little bit, so it kind of stays.
Yeah. So
it doesn't fall off. Now we got to attach all the stuff. So just like an actual gantry, this part here, which has its own little treads on it, so it's supposed to be a little scout vehicle or something like that.
In your head canon.
No, in actuality for the toy, this pegs in right there.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. It's got 2 pegs in the bottom. You only need the one.
Okay. It's pegged.
This is a little gun emplacement, which goes in the base mode, but also to protect the gantry, I guess, if the Decepticons are trying to attack it as it's being rolled somewhere new.
As they do.
This just snaps right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Does somebody sit
somebody
there?
can sit in there.
Okay.
Just like a regular gantry, there's something to kind of hold the rocket in place. So this part here looks like this goes on right there. And that can kind of help roll the rocket in. So it gives an area where they can walk out and check the rocket if they needed to. this little gun here can just go up front on that spot there, so it's got defense in all directions.
Yeah.
And these other parts, unfortunately, are just kind of superfluous for now. They kind of get set aside.
Why do they have a helipad for a rocket?
Because that was for the base mode, remember?
Okay.
So that's why you don't need this part.
Okay.
So the basic ramps, this arm thing, which is only for the base mode, this helipad, and this super long ramp, those kind of get put aside, and you're like, we don't.
Where do they go when he transforms?
We don't talk about them for now, right?
They go into the Forbidden Zone?
Yes, yeah.
Where's that place where in Superman's world they send bad people? They go to the Phantom Zone. Yeah. That's my headcanon.
So we put Countdown in there, the guy who came with his base. Yeah. And now it's ready to go. So you can take these guns, and I don't know if there's any place for them on here now. I can't remember on this one. I don't think there is. These little black guns also are kind of put aside.
So how on earth does anybody still have one of these mostly intact? I mean, I would imagine that the parts would get lost in like 2 weeks after you open it.
As a Transformer collector, parts are a huge thing because there are people who are selling parts that I guess they'll buy an old toy, and it's sometimes more profitable to carve it up and sell it piecemeal than it is to sell the whole toy. So there's a big market for parts on eBay and other places like that. You go to convention, people sell
Did you have to?
No, I was able to luckily get this one as it is, but this is back in the 90s before it really started getting hot like it is now.
So you bought this off the shelf?
No, I bought this on either eBay or a Usenet group or something like that.
But closer to the time that it was originally out is what you're saying? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, probably. I can't remember
so
exactly.
So if somebody wanted to get an intact one today, it might be a little more challenging.
Oh, absolutely, and it's going to be a lot more expensive, because as time goes by, things go up.
Right.
Obviously. So here's the completed rocket base. So the treads. It's even got a little bit of wheels in the bottom, so it can roll a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not super impressive.
When it's all folded up.
Yeah, compared to
you
other
thought it was cooler when it was in the city mode.
I think the coolest idea behind this is that you can hook them up to make a bigger city.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is not the greatest toy.
Playset. Yeah. Well, the rocket, has this door as you found on it. So you can put a guy inside of it, so you can pilot the rocket
really
part.
Easy.
But yeah. Well, the whole...
Not that I have any room to brag.
The whole thing was designed for, children. Again, like all toys are. but there we go. So, as I mentioned, there's a surprise real quick. So there's one other thing I want to show you.
Oh, I forgot about the surprise.
So I mentioned in Japan, they kind of went all in on the whole Micromaster thing, right? Yes. So for the Transformers toy line and cartoon called Victory, they had an additional guy called... This is one of those Japanese names.
Ooh, that looks cool.
His name is Galaxy Shuttle.
Well, all right.
So again, to a Japanese ears, I'm sure that sounds perfectly fine and great.
It probably sounds super cool.
Obviously, either there's something wrong with us or we find that name lacking in some way, right? So my headcanon name for this guy is Liftoff. Sounds a little more Transformer-y, doesn't it?
It does, and
G.I.
it goes
Joe.
with...
And there's a lot of G.I. Joes and Transformers that have similar names. There's a mainframe in G.I. Joe. There's a mainframe in Transformers. Yada yada yada. So when I westernized this one in my headcanon, I gave him the name Liftoff.
Yeah.
So this came out in 1990, I think, in Japan. It might be maybe 91.
Okay.
It's very simple transformation. It turns into a space shuttle, as you can see. Would you like to try it?
Which is why they called him Galaxy Shuttle. Yeah. That makes sense.
And he was just a figure came by his own.
I thought he was a jet.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah. He's a space shuttle.
It's fairly rare. It only came out in Japan.
Oh, I just pulled the wing off. The
wings pop right off.
They're supposed to.
Yeah,
okay.
they're easy to pop
off. So in the
head
cannon, like when he's transforming, they're like, oh.
I think it's probably just more of a safety thing. So if it does break, it goes back together easily. Because you don't, in theory, you can actually transform by keeping these in place.
Here goes this gun too.
Yeah. And the gun is, if you look at it, the gun is kind of the tail fin.
Come on, let me see you shake your tail feather.
Any guesses?
Well, okay.
You need to hide those arms. So there's a little, you gotta open up a little thing.
Dave, you gotta let me figure this out, man.
I'm sorry.
That's part of the fun.
I'm throwing our audience a curve by having two Transformers. This video is going to be really long if we're not careful.
I want this video to be 3 hours long. I don't want to go to bed tonight. This is going to be great. All right. Okay, he's got to hide his... All right, the head's got to hide, too.
Yeah.
So that's... There, I got it. I was doing it the wrong way.
Yep.
So something's missing here, because it feels like something should be coming up in here. So...
Does it got something that can latch on? Yeah, it's got a little something there where it can latch together.
Really?
You see it? You just got to snap it together.
All right. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Okay, so that was great. All right, so now... Okay, he's got these feet sticking out.
So as a Japanese-only toy, an exclusive toy, this Galaxy Shuttle / Liftoff in my headcanon was never sold in America. He's only sold for a couple years in Japan too.
All right, I think this
hard
is.
to come by. Okay.
Okay, now I got the nose cone up. This has got to go like this. Mm-hmm. This has got to go. Okay. I think this is going to go down here over. This seems like it should go over that. Ooh,
basically right. You're basically right. You're not incorrect.
All right.
So going back to the story, these guys won the balls filling around a little bit. So in the victory line and all those other lines that came after it, everybody had some sort of Micromaster compatibility. So Galaxy Shuttle here / Liftoff, he's got a cockpit that a Micromaster could fit inside. Okay. Some later toys would come with a Micromaster, so they had like a little Micromaster partner. Oh. Whatever, but this one did not. And there's one other little functionality this one has. As soon as Noelle figures it out. Shoot. Let me know if you need some help out a little bit.
I might.
Okay, so this is the tail fin.
Okay.
So it's gonna snap into place up
that's
here.
The problem. Okay, so I was like, these are not coming together.
So you're right about this. Bringing this up.
I did it right.
Yep, you're absolutely right. You're just missing the tail fin part.
Missing the tail fin.
So you just kind of bring it together.
Because I could tell these two things needed to come together, but there was a big space between them.
Snap it in place. And you can finish.
Yeah, you
can finish snap it together.
My time turn. Yeah. Let me do it.
What our daughter said when she was we still laugh at that today.
Well, except that. Well, look, there's a hole there, and it's just not quite.
Just haven't quite got the match up yet. You're like so close.
Yeah, I want that satisfaction, but okay. But now we got to put
the wings back.
Yeah, the wings back on. Okay. If this was an actual space shuttle, what would you name it? Space shuttle what?
Like based on the actual
There's space shuttle, Challenger, Endeavor, Columbia, Atlantis. What would you call this?
Space shuttle Victory, because it's from the Victory.
I love it! Space shuttle Victory.
So then put the wings back on. Then I got one more thing to show you. It's kind of cool.
Okay. Here, wings go this way. Okay. Looking for a hole. Yep. There we go. Okay. And the other hole. That's neat. All right, I like this one. I take back everything I said.
He didn't have a lot of posability. He's kind of a brick and robot mode, but there is a shuttle mode, right?
I kind of did it.
Yeah. He's got a front landing gear.
Oh, I didn't bring up the landing gear. That's going to be a problem.
It's kind of hard to see it, but there it is. So there he is, right? All right.
Love it.
This is cool, all right?
Does he have a little parachute that comes out of his butt?
No parachute comes out. But we flip this up there, and there's where a Micromaster could go inside there, right? So a Micromaster could pilot.
Did you see that? That was cool.
These were sold separately.
Okay.
In different years.
It fits on there.
He's made to go on this base too.
Oh.
Like I'm getting right. I'm gonna knock everything off while trying to do it.
This one was made by the lowest bidder.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be honest with my audience here. I've never actually plugged him on before until now.
And now you don't know if it's actually going to work.
So it does work.
We're doing it live, people.
I think that
we're doing it live. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of goes.
It kind of goes there.
Put the gantry back up.
There we go.
It's supposed to lock on like the rocket does, but it seems like it's kind of having a hard time. So there could be some sort of weird thing between the Japanese version of this and the American version, but I'll turn this around so I can see. But so we're just going to kind of fake it a little bit. So it kind of goes like that. So you can put in the original rocket that it came with. You can put in a space shuttle. So they designed these two to be compatible with each other.
That's neat. So you could pretend that you're taking different. But why would they have to bring him out to launch him? Isn't he already self-propelled as a transformer?
Well, part of the Transformers scheme of transformation is disguise.
Yeah.
It's not robots in disguise, right? So if you wanted to pretend to be a regular shuttle, you would expect him to be kind of. He's not just going to be walking around going, "Oh, I'm a shuttle now. No one sees me." Can't see
so me. This is part of the kayfabe is they're bringing they transform around this to make them think that it's an actual shuttle.
Yeah, in the cartoon,
so it looks so real.
In the cartoon, you mostly saw a Galaxy Shuttle and not the regular rocket. You would see this kind of moving around and going from place to place and then go like there. So Galaxy Shuttle, Japanese exclusive, works with the Micromasters. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that guy.
And Countdown on his rocket base.
Yeah.
The biggest Micromaster playset, so kind of cool. I mean, we can show more Micromasters if you'd like to see some more at some other time. But I think they were kind of cool for the time, because it gave you a chance to have a bunch of guys at once.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned before when I was a kid. Sometimes you could only take 3 toys, so I'd be 3 Transformers. I got 6 toys. If you had Micromasters, you could put like a handful in your pocket and have like 20 Transformers.
And if you were my little brother, he'd probably put them in his pocket and take them home and then tell us that he got them at Walmart.
That could be too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd want to keep them.
So, good. So that's the basic of the Micromasters. They were competing with Galoob to try to compete with the Micromaster, the Micro Machines.
That's what industries are.
And between the Micro Machines competition and the fact that people, I just think, were just getting burned out with Transformers after a while, from 84 to 1990. It was just enough time back in the 80s because there was just so much. The 80s are the best decade of all time.
The best decade ever, I think for sure.
People moved on, and it wasn't until nostalgia kicked in later that we finally get all this other Transformers coming back. Yeah. So, good job.
Thank you.
Countdown, Galaxy Shuttle.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's celebrate with some something else.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
You might say that with all of this trying to pretend that it's actually a shuttle or a rocket, that they're being a little sneaky, right, so to speak. So, today we're going to try something a little different. We're shaking it up on BeerFormers. Instead of doing a beer today, we're going to do a spirit. This is the first time we're going to talk about a spirit.
We've talked about spirits a lot, so tell us if you have a beer or a spirit you want to check out.
You have to help me turn this back on. So here's the deal. We recently made another trip to Atlanta to bring our oldest daughter home from school. And so while we were there, we, of course, made a stop at our favorite brewery down there, Monday Night Brewing. But since we've already featured their wonderful beers on this show, we thought it would be fun to try one of their spirits. They have a line of spirits that's called Sneaky Pete's. And so let me bring that over here for you.
We've already had one of them before. We had their rye.
So now we're going to try their bourbon.
So today we've got the Sneaky Pete bourbon.
So Dave, why don't you pour us a little?
There's the bottle.
There it is. Well, I tell you guys a little bit about. Here's the Sneaky Pete story. It says right here, Sneaky Pete's first trick, hiding in plain sight. At first, we were cunning, serving on the sly. In the way a fox stalks its prey, we were slow, cautious, and calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. And fortuitously, on the final day of dry January, we were ready to unveil our latest venture into the liquid arts, Sneaky Pete Spirits. And their logo, their icon, is a little fox.
With a crown.
Yes. And so this comes from their brewmaster. It says, drawing from his extensive experience in the brewing and winemaking industries, our brewmaster, Peter Kiley, led the charge in the technical creation of our new line of spirits. This line includes gin, bourbon, rye, and rum. And it says from selecting botanicals for the gin to triple filtering the vodka and aging, blending, and barreling the dark spirits, Peter's trademark craftsmanship, and it says here, wily air of mystique.
Ooh.
We'll have to take their word for it. We haven't met the guy. It's imbued in each Sneaky Pete spirit. So a few details about the bourbon itself. It is a 7-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Let's taste it and see if we agree with what they say.
I'm just going to show you this. I'll put a close-up picture too, but it does say on the back, bottled by Monday night. You might not be able to see that on the screen, but I'll put it up there later on. So bottled by Monday night is 44% alcohol, 88 proof for those of you who know how the proof system works. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It smells like it. It's kind of your standard bourbon color.
So I would say it's kind of a hay, maybe a little bit closer to honey,
I was going to say honey myself.
Not super golden.
Mm-hmm. Got a great nose.
Yeah. It's got that nice peppery smell that I always associate with bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Kind of burns the nose, singes the nostrils. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
So,
what do you think?
Oh my gosh, that is exceptional. I mean, it almost, the way that the burn is it feels like a scotch to me. But
enough without the peat.
I can taste cherry and vanilla. The cherries on the front end, a little vanilla on the back end. Let's see what they have to say.
I don't have as refined a palate as my wife here, so it tastes like whiskey to me.
Okay, this is interesting. They say the first sips are laced with oak, vanilla, and clove.
Clove.
And accented with a hint of toffee and char. And that toffee is probably what I'm tasting as cherry. So.
But it is good. I mean, I like it. How old is this when they bought it? Does it say?
Vanilla. 7 years old.
7 years old. You said that already. I apologize. Yeah. So
that's okay.
So it's basically your standard Kentucky bourbon.
It's even more than
Yeah, because bourbons have to be
aged. Right? They've been aged at least 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in new they need to be charred oak casks, but it's new wood, so.
Okay.
So there's very specific rules about bourbon.
So if you go to Monday night, at least at the Midtown location where we always go, I'm not sure if they sell this in all locations, but I bet they probably do.
Yeah.
In addition to trying all their wonderful beers, you can also get some of their spirits too. Do they sell this at the bar also, do you know? We've never tried ordering. Every time we go to the bar, we always just getting beer.
Yeah, I don't know if they sell. I don't think I've seen it on the menu there.
Okay.
So there may be some kind of licensing, or they may sell it at their. They also have a tiki bar there that we've never ordered from, so that may be where you could order it, and you may have to buy it like it mixed.
We've been places like in Tennessee where they only can sell it to you as a cocktail.
Yes, or or you can take a bottle home. But they won't sell it to you just on the rocks or straight. Yeah. So,
but it's really good. I like the rye too. So that we've had 2 of these that we've had now, and I've liked both of them. They've both been quality, I thought. So.
I was looking in here to see where it's distributed, and I can't tell from their website if it's distributed elsewhere. So
if you know, let us know.
Yeah, but for sure you can pick it up at their tasting rooms. So.
Yeah, I've yet to see that. We've gone very few places in the Atlanta area.
Yeah,
but I've not seen this on the shelves there. I've only seen it out there.
This is exceptional. This is a very, very good bourbon.
Good job Monday night, guys and gals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was a real treat. So.
Anyway, and for the last couple times we've gone there, we haven't talked about it because we've been at least a couple times since we did our last video talking about Monday night. We have actually had their pizza. Yeah. Their pizza is exceptional. Again, we've only gone to the Midtown location. Yeah,
this is the Midtown in Atlanta.
They've got an outdoor pizza oven, and you order pizza. They're like 12 inch pizzas. Single serving for the most part, unless you want to share. So your prerogative. Wood fired.
Yeah, and they're I would call them artisan pizzas. Yeah. It's not your typical.
I had hot honey pizza. Yeah. We had pepperoni and hot and like caramelized, not caramelized, like pickled onions and then hot honey sauce on it.
Yeah.
Remember what you had?
I had one that was with different types of mushrooms and different types of olives and 2 kinds of cheeses and a white garlic.
And our daughter had, is it pronounced margarita like the drink, even though it's spelled differently? Yeah. Okay, I've never actually heard anyone in the know say that kind of pizza.
So
margarita pizza, so that was really good too.
In my head canon, that's how you say it.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
So once again, good job Monday night on your Sneaky Pete. So again, now you got 2 reasons to go to Monday night in the Atlanta area. You got beer, awesome beer, and now you got spirits if you're into spirits. We love whiskeys in addition to beer here at BeerFormers, so really, really good job. Really cool talking about Micromasters. Good job in transforming it all.
Thank you. Yeah. And next time, I challenge you to really challenge me. Give me a super hard one. We want it to be We want it to be a 5-hour show.
Do we really want it to be a 5-hour?
Yeah, that's what the audience is clamoring for. That's the word on the street. So.
But as we wrap this up, again, thank you all for your viewership. Hit all the buttons, help us out, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal.
Yeah.
If you have any other things you'd like us to try, or whether it's a transformer or an adult beverage, please drop us a line. We'll be happy to review it.
This is always such a joy when we get a spirit that we've never tried, and it turns out to be fabulous. So.
I know as we drive through to where we have to go to from the St. Louis area to get to Atlanta, you pass through Kentucky and Tennessee and all the bourbon and whiskey country, and we always like see the signs like, oh, I want to go there.
Yeah.
But we just can't.
Someday it's on our
But thank you for watching. Again, come back and see us again when we get another episode in a couple weeks. We really appreciate everything you guys do. So once again, thanks for watching BeerFormers.
Meets the rye.